Hello, and welcome to Reddit Rewind, where we cover the most ridiculous stories on Reddit. So today's story is titled, EM Calls Police on My Daughter for Not Playing with Her Daughter. This is my first time posting. I will try to keep the story short and to the point, but there does have to be some backstory for context. Here we go. This happened about 12 years ago. I had just moved to a small town. My 10-year-old daughter made friends with a girl down the block. The girl didn't have many friends because her mom was drama and nobody in the neighborhood wanted to deal with her. I didn't want to punish the EM's daughter for her mom's behavior, and our daughters were thick as thieves in no time. About 6 months later, my daughter comes home from their house crying. Apparently, over an argument over who got to play with what Barbie, the other girl called my daughter a N-word. When my daughter became quite visibly upset, the girl told my daughter something to the effect of,
It's not a bad thing. It's just what my mom says you and your mom are when you act like you are better than us. Just stop acting better and you won't be an N word.
the EM called pretty quickly to apologize for her daughter. Talking out of turn and sharing personal family conversations. I explained to her that I was okay with the girls still being friends as long as the four of us could sit down and just kind of talk through why that word would be so hurtful to my kid. She agreed, but made comments that made me feel she thought I was overreacting. At the end of our conversation, I made it very clear our daughters would not be around each other until the sit down happened. EM snaps. This is what's wrong with you people. Always playing the race card and making a mountain out of a molehill. You aren't going to punish my daughter because you can't get over yourself. I hung up and that was the end, or so I thought. 1 month later, my daughter is at the park down the street from our house with the neighbor and her kids. I'm cleaning my house when I got a phone call from the neighbor. Neighbor, oh my God, EM is here. She is screaming that the kids can't ignore her kid at a public place. By law, they have to play with her daughter. I'm packing up and coming back. Just let me know this bitch is acting nuts. Me, you need me to come? Nah, I'm ignoring her. We will be home in a sec. 2 minutes later, I get another call and can hear screaming in the background. You won't freaking believe this. She called the police on your daughter. The cops are here. You need to get down here. I arrive and my daughter is shaking and crying, thinking she has done something wrong. EM is screaming like a madwoman at the top of her lungs about how my daughter being in a public place means she has to play with her daughter. EM, so what are you going to do about this? Are you seriously just going to let this girl stay at the park when she is refusing to play with my daughter? Police officer, ma'am, I'm sorry, but as I was saying, there's no law that kids have to play with each other in public parks. If she doesn't want to play with your daughter, she doesn't have to. EM grabs at the walkie-talkie thing on the cop's shoulder. I want to speak to your sergeant or commanding officer or whatever. Someone needs to come do their freaking job. The officer called his commanding officer. I was stunned. I asked if my daughter could sit in my car as she was visibly shaken. He said she could, which of course sent EM on another rant. The commanding officer pulls up as she is screaming about how my daughter needs to get out of the car and play with her child. CO comes and the officer is trying to explain to him what's going on as she is screaming a foot away. He comes over to me and I tell him the backstory on how this all started. CO to me. At this point, I don't see a reason for you to still have to be here. You can take your daughter home. EM, while turning bright red. This is why they are like this. Nobody holds them accountable for anything they do. She should at least get a ticket or something. I don't know what was said after that. Me, the neighbor, and our kids got out of there quick. I did start looking for an apartment right away and found something about 2 months later. While I was packing, I got a call from EM I let go to voicemail. I hear you're moving. I just want you to know that if you or any of your kids walk by my house before then, I'm calling the police for harassment. I don't care if it's James, my son that was 2 at the time, and I can't wait to hear what stupid crap you have to say about this when you call me back. I'm not going to lie, I was tempted to call back, but didn't. We moved a week later, thankfully. I'm sending this from my phone, so please forgive any grammar, spelling issues. Edit. I'm trying not to make this super long. I don't know why the police did nothing, but they never did. She called them often on everyone and anyone. They always basically just apologized, calmed her down, and left. When I say small town, it is less than 10,000 people and has a lot of farms. So much so that the high school literally has a bring your tractor to school day. I heard stories about her kids being wild at school, hitting teachers, biting, spitting, and they would just get sent home. I can't say it's fact, but it came from my kids and other kids in the area. As horrible as this is going to sound, I think the whole town collectively decided to turn our backs on all of them to not have to deal with her, from the police to the schools to the parents. Now, that was a story of an extremely awful, entitled parent, Karen, racist, horrible person. Yeah, that was bad. And I don't blame our OP for moving and not wanting her daughter to play with that woman's child. She sounded absolutely awful. No judgment for her moving as well. So I found a few comments posted in the comments section. Thought I'd read a few. Just wow, the nerve of some people. When I was a child, I had a neighbor I was best friends with. She started going out with girls older than us and acting like them, mature and bitchy. One day, I decided I no longer wanted to be friends because I didn't know her anymore. Well, her mom called my mom to basically say that I had mental problems because I didn't want to hang out with her. And because of that, I desperately needed a therapist. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Another case of an entitled mom being very protective of their kid and not seeing the truth that maybe her daughter was the one who was acting up and had changed. But, most parents are going to be protective and blind to their children, just a matter of degrees. And yeah, some are helicopter parents and some just go Karen level and go crazy. So, yeah. All right. So, our next comment: woman lost her screws a long time ago. She's morally corrupt, and worst of all, she's a Karen. Good grief. No wonder nobody wants to play with her kids. It's not worth the drama or the inevitable stupidity that is going to come out of the vindictive Karen's mouth. Again, agreed. Sometimes you just got to walk away. And this was a case where the OP and also this poster just makes a great point. And some people, they're just gaga, they're crazy, there's no dealing with them, and they love drama. And sometimes you just have to walk away and not deal with it because it's not worth it. That was our story for today. Be sure to comment in the section down below and let us know what you thought. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.